And we are live. Welcome, and Arbin kicking it off with a super chat. Thank you, Arbin. As always, I appreciate you supporting the channel. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel when you can. Keeps me going, helps keep me going. Welcome to the 132nd, with a few weekends off in a row in there, almost 3 years of covering Splinterlands, talking about Splinterlands on Saturday morning. We have the Saturday morning stand-up, where we talk about, what's been going on in Splinterlands this week and what you've been up to. In this case, there has been a lot going on. Let me know if there's anything you want to talk about, Arbin. We will talk about your topic as promised. Whenever somebody gives a super chat on a live stream, I give the option of answering a question or talking about what they want to. Okay, with that said, a lot been going on this week. I put out a video this week. I think one of the big things, two of the big things we can talk about are, the Halloween skins went live this past Tuesday, which is patch day. And coming up next week, we have the new reward set going live for Conclave Arcana. And everybody's kind of in the situation of, I hope you have pretty much gotten your old reward set in line with what you want and then are looking forward to the new one, because you kind of need to be in that situation. I haven't quite completed all of my reward set. There are some legendaries I haven't finished off, and I don't think I'm going to spend any more glint on them. I did buy one round of legendaries this past week, but I think going forward I'm just going to unlock some of the extras I have, and then next week ask around, and a few people want to trade back and forth, like I have an extra one of this, and then do the unlock and do a direct trade. So if anybody has some extra legendaries that they want to trade around, let me know, and I'll let you know what I have and what you need, etc. And if we want to trade, we'll just unlock them and then swap them back and forth. So I ended up buying a round of chests of the high-end chests this week, because I wanted to try and get one of those haunted skins or spooky skins. And I ended up getting one, but it was for an Archon that I don't even have. So, but I ended up getting a bunch of energy in those chests. So I had to leave my bot on, and I've actually pumped it up to 2 times an hour. I use the Archmage bot, so it can burn through some of that energy. So that's why you're see it go. So let us check who's going and what's going on in chat. Looks like Wibble's here. Welcome, Wibble. And Crypto Beaver's here. Crypto Beaver got all the Halloween skins, and they look awesome. I agree. I really like the Frankenstein giraffe for some reason. I like that giraffe for some reason. I don't know. Says, I am 100 vouchers away from my very first DAR. Got 'em. Long grind, but worth it. Yeah, I mean, I just bought one copy of DAR just to have it earlier today, actually, because I was thinking about it. It used all it used all the vouchers I had. So I'm in the same situation that you are. Wibble says that they've been in on power cores and hippos this week. You had mentioned that. I had you mentioned the other day. Maybe you were on the live stream last night. I forget. I had a pop-up live stream last night. My wife and daughter are gone for a week, so it's just me and the dog in the house. So I'm like, it's Friday night. I might as well do a live stream. And I live streamed mostly Raven Idol, but we did talk about Splinterlands a little bit. It was fun. Not a big crowd, but it was fun. And speaking of power cores, I have to do some land. I need to do my land claims, and it looks like this guy's going to beat me. Snowballs is here with a wibbly wee. Crypto Beaver says, good morning to Wibble. Spirit of Wind Beaver be with you. And I got defeated. I can't knock myself out of Diamond 2 to to save my life. And once again, I had problems with music this morning. I've got two sliders, desktop audio and mic aux mix, and one other one that is for the actual audio. So I have to work with that. Too much to do and not enough problems, or not enough time to do it, rather. Gatherings here. Welcome, Gathering. Says, good morning to all. Happy Saturday. Ready for a great week in Splinterlands. Yep. And Lady Sharon says, good morning. Lazy playing in Modern after being decimated in M.A. tourney as usual. Yeah, I know what you mean. Snowball says, nice t-shirt. Yeah, I had this custom made. I had this one and a red one made. I had to make it custom. I don't know if they've changed anything that's available on the store lately, but I had these made several months ago because I couldn't really find anything on the store that I liked, really. So, and it looks like, let's go to the main page. They used to have a link all the way at the bottom. Support, terms, privacy, media, lore, docs. Yeah, I don't see a store link. So maybe they're still working on it. He was talking about work. Oh, here we go. Here's a merch icon over to the right. It's like a little S. Yeah, this is still the old school stuff. And I have nothing against it. It's just didn't, to me, I wasn't going to pay $50 for the old school icon. I wanted something new. Yeah, you can see this hasn't been updated in quite a while. The old SPS, the SPS logo and such. Yeah, I thought they were going to work on this, but this is still the old school stuff. Either way, I didn't, didn't find anything that popped out to me, so I just made my own. Doombot's here. Welcome, Doombot. Thanks for dropping by. Snowball says, can we talk about beavers? Well, we can talk about it when we first see that first land card. I see that he released some information this past week about the land cards. I didn't do a video on it because I'm not in the Land Barons channel, and it's a shame that they only released that information to the Land Barons channel. And even the guys who did videos about it had to get the information secondhand. So it's a shame that that information isn't really put out, and that even guys like me who have 25 plots of land and probably couple $1,000 invested in land can't even get that information firsthand. It has to be secondhand. A little bit of salt there from me this morning. But Crypto Beaver says the Land Beaver card is coming. So that's interesting. Yeah, the information he did put out was pretty interesting. I have to do some land claims. Let's see. Gathering says the new Splinterlands motto, got glint. Yeah, like the old got milk logo. Did they still use that? That was big during the 80s and 90s. They had commercials showing people with famous people with like a milk mustache. Snowball says, got the pickle skin. I do have the pickle skin. In fact, that's one of the ones I bought most of them, but I didn't buy the ones I don't have the card for. Let's see. Pickle is promo, so there you go. There's a gold foil max pickle promo with the Halloween skin sticking out of a basket of candy, a pumpkin filled with candy, as it were. Natural Search is here. Welcome. Says, is this the time you live stream? I hear for tomorrow's content. It's slightly different between Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we talk Splinterlands. It starts at 11:30, and I do that because I like to call it the Saturday morning stand-up. And if I went to noon, I couldn't call it the Saturday morning stand-up anymore. It would have to be the Sunday afternoon. And then Sunday, we talk Atlas Earth, and that starts at noon because I just started, heads up. This show has been going for so long, like I said, almost 3 years now. And at the very beginning, we alternated the time a little bit. I actually started as early as 11, and then I found that if I made it a half hour later, then more people showed up, basically put. So, yeah. So if you want to talk Atlas Earth, it's tomorrow at noon Eastern time. And on Saturday, we talk Splinterlands at 11:30. We start. Doombot says, got no glint. Our faded glory's in the house. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Throwing down a lot of live streams himself lately. Snowball says, I have a few BCX of legendaries I still need, so we'll need to trade a few. Just to show you where I stand, let's go to Rebellion Rewards and Legendaries. Not gold foils. So I need Ember Guards. I need Sergeant Grazerol. I need Cyrinth. And I need Frigid Wolf. And I had talked to Gathering, and we might do a few trades. But it's going to be first come, first serve. So just let me know later on the week. Obviously, you can ping me on Discord if you want to do a trade. We'll just both unlock the cards and then just swap them. Obviously, I want to max them out, but I don't know if I don't think I'm going to spend any more glint on them. So I am down to 395,000, which to me is pretty low considering before, a couple weeks ago I was way up like 1.5 million. So I've done some spending, I had bought, and also kind of like on the topic of the new reward set coming out, remember that these gold foil rarity draws are going to be going away. So if you want to get some gold foils of the current set, go ahead and grab them. That goes on to the topic of how the gold foils in the next set will be a lot more rare. My brother's texting me. Yeah, so, and to me, it'll be a lot harder to fill in the gold foils to do gold foil brawls, which I'm trying to do. So going forward, I might have to pull out of gold foil brawls. I don't know. We will see about that. Paul Taylor's in the house. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for dropping by, as always. Gathering says, need a trade page in Splinterlands. Yeah, that would be nice. They would have to throw in there something. They would have to throw it in there and throw something in there that would give the team some profit off of it, though. Doing direct trades really gives the game nothing. So they would have to do something like, burn 100 DEC to do a trade, or something where you're burning DEC or you're doing something so there's a slight charge to the game to make it worth them, creating it and implementing. I like the idea though, because one of the main things is when you do direct trades with any NFTs, right? Not just Splinterlands, you have to really trust the person because you're going out on a limb and sending, whatever it is, cards or tokens or whatever to another person. Then you're trusting that that person's going to send you something back that you agreed upon, right? I always like the idea of, like in World of Warcraft, I don't know how they would implement it here. There's got to be a way to do it because in World of Warcraft, if you want to trade something, then you open a window up with the person you're trading. It shows that person what you're trading, and then they put in something in the window, and you can both see what's being traded, and you both have to agree before you click the button. And once you click the button, then the trade happens. That could probably be done through a message or something or other. I kind of like that idea, but like I said, there would have to be something in place that was good for the game, like burned DEC or burned SPS or charged a slight fee for the game or burned, whatever. But I do like the idea. I've always liked the idea, and that took the the trust factor out of there. But then some people will say, well, just stick it up on the store and sell it and buy the other one. Yeah, but I think it's a valid argument to have both. Snowball says OFG beat Snowballs in an attorney. Um, Party at Bronze Dragon's house this week. No party going on here. I might get a pizza tonight though. That's my idea of partying. I'm pretty laid back these days. I haven't. I've mentioned this, but it's an ongoing thing with me. I haven't drank any alcohol since February of this year, trying to get healthier and everything. Um, love good I love good quality beers and whiskeys and stuff, but as you get older, it gets harder and harder to really stay in shape and try to stay healthy. So it's one of the things I've laid off. For better or for worse. For better for my body, but for worse for my mind, because over the years I always looked forward to having a drink on the weekends, right? Snowball says you must have drank your castoreum. I don't really know what that means. Oh, over in Onty's tourney. Yeah, I saw you guys talking about that on X and everything in Discord. I frankly, if I'm going to be honest with you all, I've been playing Raven Idol a lot this week. We're not going to talk about that a lot today, but I've been playing that game a lot this week. I have put some videos out on it. I've been enjoying it. If you want to play the game, I've got a code you can use. Crypto Beaver says missing 3 surly. Well, if you guys want to trade anything, just ping me in Discord and your needs and what you have extra of, and then I can make a list, and we can go from there. And then when it gets switched on, as far as I know right now, if you unlock a card, it's 20 times. And next week it will go down to one time. I wish 10 times. So let's see here. Unlock. Yeah, it's still at 20 times. So next week when it starts, this will go down to 10 times. So over progression of 6 months, it will gradually go up from there, right? So if you want to unlock them, the cheapest time is going to be next week. But you may also see a bunch flooded onto the market. And generally what I've seen in the past is they'll go up on the market and they'll be like the whatever the unbinding fee was plus a certain percentage, depending upon how popular the card was, so. Gathering says the new reward cards look so powerful. What is the strongest rarity so far? Rares look pretty good. Did you all watch the video I put out? The one they gave me to release looked pretty good. Let me pull it up. It's from Blaze. Let's see here. Okay. Can you all read that? Let me push this over a little bit. Okay, that's the one that I put out in a video this week, if you didn't see it. And it looks like a pretty strong card. I mean, obviously, it's going to be for a low to mid mana match. Obviously, this strong point is going to be, magic versus magic. So if you anticipate somebody using magic on you, you're going to want to throw this in just because of the powers it has, right? So looked pretty strong to me, but it's not going to be one of those big, 12 mana cards. So if you've got like a 99 mana match, you're probably not going to use this. Snowball says the Saturday afternoon sit down. I don't know. I kind of like the Saturday morning. The sit down. Well, stand up is a term we use. I work for a company that develops software, and whenever the developers have a meeting on a daily basis to discuss their progress in the current Scrum, then it's called a stand-up, because usually you've got this small room and a bunch of people crammed in the room, so much that there's very little room, and everybody, half the people are standing up. I understand your joke, though. Snowball says, gathering your video on how to spin glint was brilliant. Highlights how much more glint I need. Yeah, well, they have definitely came through on their promise of giving us more things to use glint on. It's like we went through this long period of time where there was not a whole lot to use glint on, and nothing much changed in the store, and now there's just too much to spend glint on. So I'll take this down. Gathering says he needs a Cyrinth and 2 chieftains. Yeah, like I said, when it goes live, obviously Tuesday I won't be home until later on after work, but Tuesday evening or Wednesday, Thursday, you can just ping me in Discord. Gathering says, thanks. So many variables on how much glint people earn per day and per season, what everybody's goals are, so tried to cover all the rewards. I don't think I watched that video yet. Too many videos, not enough time. OFG says, the ghost card tourneys are hard because there are just so many cards to pick from. I agree. It's fun to use cards that you don't have, though. Hey, DeFizz is in the house. Welcome, DeFizz. Thanks for dropping by. As always, I appreciate it. OFG says, Twitch live streams have been a blast. Get that glint, boys. Snowballs is not used to using a lot of cards per Chaos Legion. Yeah. Yeah, when you first start doing the ghost card tourneys, you're like, oh, you're used to just having a small selection, and then you've got this huge selection. And you want to use like the expensive cards, but you don't know exactly how to use them right. And so sometimes you pick some of the expensive cards and it just doesn't play out like you thought it was going to play out. OFG says, the legendary DeFizz has entered the chat. Yeah, DeFizz did some... got yourself one of... Would you get the Arcane Pickle? Was it the Arcane Pickle you got this past week? I forget. I remember seeing that you had won a big auction. I forget which one it was, though. Gathering says 10 SPS burnt per person to do a trade. Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine. I just mean that there would have to be something to be good for the game or the team because they'd have to develop it and put it into the game, right? So there'd be man hours spent on it. So there would have to be some value to the game. Lady Sharon says, that sounds like a good idea. Paying a small amount of DEC as kind of a go-between trust cost would not be a bad... I would use it. Of course, I would want to be a small amount no matter what. Yeah, like I said, they'd have to develop it, and to pay for that, they would have to have something that was either good for the team or good for the game. But this is something that we've talked about off and on for years, though. So it's... I'm guessing at this point in time, they just don't want to put it in. They've probably thought about it and everything, but they're just going with, hey, use the store, right? Banana says, yeah, I wouldn't do trades until they were official like that. Too many people get burnt. Yeah, the only people I do trades with are people that I've been associated with for years. Like you can't really quote unquote trust people across the internet, but I know people that, like I would trust Bananas if I wanted to do a trade with Bananas, or I would trust Lady Sharon, even though I've known her for just a short amount of time, or DeFizz or OFG or Gathering. I would trust these people. If you were some rando that just popped into stream, I probably wouldn't be trusting you, so Um, Lady Sharon says, actually, I would like a message component to Splinterlands. I remember one of the first games I played, which was a war game. You could message other players, and I mean, you opened yourself up. Yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised that they don't have some type of message, sending messages back and forth in game. About the closest we have to that is guild chat, right? So, um, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, when you're developing a game, and we've talked about this for quite a number of times, is they have a relatively small team, and you have this list of things that would be nice, you know, nice to haves in game, right? And then you have things that you have to have certain things within the game that actually happen on a usual basis, like new sets and new reward sets and things like that. So all these things this small team has to work on, and they just have to prioritize what would be nice. Now, there have been a lot of what do I want to say? Things, I forget what the term is, but things that make the game easier to use. Like they've continued to iterate on the filters and things like this. And I've said it a number of times, but I like, in fact, I have to do this, but I like the claim all button on land. It makes, especially if you've got a number of plots of land, it makes it a lot easier to claim your, you know, what you're doing. So let's go ahead. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and do harvest. And I have some switch in card that I need to switch in on one of my lands. I actually bought a card this morning. Getting my spreadsheet up here. Anybody else still in, you know, working on their lands and increasing, you know, continuing to beef up their lands? I'm just doing it slowly because every time I do it, it ends up spending 30 or 20 or 30 or 40 bucks. Okay, so I made 48,000 grain. And then after this, we will do the old wheel and give away something. After I do my grain or do my harvesting. 15,000 wood. Yeah, I was interested by the release of the information about the new land cards. I find it'll be interesting on which ends up being the type of land card ends up being the best one to have, so to speak. They all look kind of interesting on you know what they offer. They all, as far as I know, you'll be able to put one land card on each land. I'm not sure if anybody knows different than this. I thought that they announced one land card per land. You can't like stack up 5 land cards on a land, and then it'll basically be giving your land a buff, but it will cost something to make. And what it costs initially, they started talking about the cinder, which to make cinder you have to burn cards. So they're still trying to get rid of all the Chaos Legion cards. So you'd have to buy some, theoretically, buy some Chaos Legion cards and burn them, or burn some extra Chaos Legion cards you had. And I also think it's going to probably take some aura. I don't know. They haven't mentioned that yet. So let's do a harvest all on this. And as usual, I need 5,500 stone because I don't produce stone. Let's go ahead and get some more. Let's trade grain for stone at 0.5%. And we are in Tostrington. And I need, let's go 5,600 stone. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And then we can do a claim. Like I said, after we do this, we'll do the wheel and give away something. Let's see here. Okay, so we can do a claim all here. And I'll be adding a better card to one of my lands that produces grain because I'm not making a whole lot of grain after doing each claim. And I'd rather have a little bit more of a buffer. I had thought about turning off my aura production, but something tells me that we might get an announcement here pretty soon that might require a bunch of aura, especially if those land cards produce require a bunch of aura to produce. I definitely want to try to put one land card on every piece of land I have, right? That would be my goal. And that's also hopefully why I've been stacking stacking aura, as it were. As usual, just putting down my totals in my spreadsheet. Sorry about this boring part. Okay, let's go back one more. And what I want to, well, let's go ahead and claim this and we'll go back. So I need 3,200 stone here. And we are in Ravenwood. Okay. Do a swap. My my strategy is basically overproduce grain and trade it for the stone I need. Hopefully, one of these days I'll find a deal on a stone producing land in one of these regions. Let's go ahead and do a claim all. Then I have to go back to Tostrington and do a swap. And then we'll get back into chat. $69,000 grain. $9,700 wood. I would like to be making more iron, but every time I think about beefing up one of the iron producing mountains, then I think, oh, I need more grain to make up for that. Because then it would start consuming more grain. It's just kind of a balancing act, I guess. Okay. Now let's go back to Tostrington, and what I want to do is let's see. I bought an extra card, and what I've been doing is upgrading like Gold Foil Chaos Legion commons max level to rares over time. I do have Chaos Legion, it's core, it's Gold Foil, and it's actually an Archon. So actually I found a good deal on an Obsidian. There was only one copy, and it was actually cheaper than other cards for max level. It was like $17, right? And there were other cards, and I'm figuring, if you've got the option to buy a card to put on land, and this is looking forward, right? My opinion is getting a good summoner for the same money you would pay for just a other random rare card is going to be the better bet, because going forward, you'll have more summoners if you take that off the land. So that's what I got, and that's what we're going to swap in. No, I don't want to go to conflicts. Let's go in here, go into production, go back to where we were, and what we're going to do, no, not history, manage. Okay, this is what I want to do. So we are going to change And remember, if you're going to change cards on your land, you always want to do it directly after you do a claim. Okay. So we're going to take that off, and we're going to replace it with an obsidian. And I would like to change. I would like to upgrade this because this land also has a rare totem on it. So I'm trying to do what I can to beef it up. It's got a couple rare betas, max levels, regular foil, not gold foil. I'm not rich. Okay, so we're going to increase from 584 to 639 per hour. I promise we'll get back to chat. I just needed to get this done, and for some reason this has just started coinciding with the with when we do our weekly show. But I figure it might be some interesting to some people. Okay, so let's go back, and then also what I want to do is go to okay, so now I've got a cooldown on that other common card that I took off. But what's going to happen is when that common card cools off in a couple days, I'm going to take it and stick it on one of my grain producing properties in another region. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and do a giveaway. We are going to give away an Arena Fanatic and a Pickle. Okay, so let's do the Wheel of Names. Put hashtag SPS to the moon in the chat. Get your name in on a drawing. And then I need to buy my weekly pack. And the Pickle is courtesy of DeFizz, and the Arena Fanatic is courtesy of the Splinterlands team. I'd like to give shout outs to those involved. Hey, Bon Galaban's in the house. Welcome, Bon. Okay, once again, we'll give an extra minute here. Hashtag SPS to the moon. I missed OFG. Get him on there. If I've forgotten your name, please let me know in chat. Otherwise, put hashtag SPS to the moon. Get your name in on a drawing for an Arena Fanatic copy and also a Pickle. Both regular foil. Been trying this Starbucks iced energy because I found a deal on Amazon. It's all right. It's just really sweet. And it's only 5 calories, but it's got one of those artificial sweeteners in it that's really sweet. It would probably be pretty good if I dumped that in like a lemonade or an iced tea that was unsweetened. It would cut it down. Okay, let's go ahead and do this shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and spin. Cross your fingers. I'll get my notepad out to see, take down who wins. And Paul Taylor. Congratulations. And I will send you those after the show. And we will go back, and I'll play catch up with chat as always. It looks like we have a a match going down. Our faded OFG says, I love watching others what are doing with their on land. When I started on land and getting everything ready, I only had about 10 plots or whatever. And my initial strategy was max level, common, gold foil, Chaos Legion. Because at that point, they were like $3 or $4. You could get them for $3 or $4. It was a good value per production point, right? Over time, obviously, lots of things have gone on. Prices have gone up. That's good, right? So it's harder and harder to replace that. So most of my lands at this point still have gold foil commons on them, right? So I've been gradually, as I've gotten more lands, I've gradually been upgrading the commons to rares on the lands where I'm fully staked out with DEC, have the 50,000 staked out on each land to get better value out of that. And also I have totems on those lands as well. So I upgrade those, and then the cards that come off those go on the newer lands that aren't fully staked out yet. Let's go ahead and watch this. Snowballs asks, what do you guys think about the SPS rental draft proposal? I did not read it. We can take a look at it after this, though. Lady Sharon, still talking about the messages, nasty messages sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I get more in game? Obviously, I'm not a woman, so you would get different messages, right? But more what I don't like in games, and I lost again. 2 losses in a row. Man, terrible. What type of messages I usually get in games are spam. Buy gold spam, buy stuff, and that's what I wouldn't like, so. Lady Sharon says, I also wish that there was like a notification catch, like a 30-day thing instead of something popping up real quick that somebody delegated a card to me, it stayed in place. Yeah, like you can look at your currency activity, but it does not tell you anything to do with a currency like DEC, merits, credits, vouchers, SPS, glint. You can go back and look at your history. However, delegations are not one of them, and frankly, that's because this takes a certain amount of compute to actually keep track of, and there is a transaction. I would imagine there's a transaction code with a delegation, so a lot of people just don't get things delegated to them. I don't think I can count on one hand how many times I've had anybody delegate anything to me, right? So. Snowball says, the old app had a world chat. It was handy for new players to ask questions. I didn't use Discord. Yeah, I mean, it would be handy to have to not tell people go to Discord, right? Have something right in game. Along the lines of the guild chat, it wouldn't have to be this featured out. I don't know. They could probably use the same thing that we use guild chat and make it open to everybody, right? Obviously, they probably have thought about this in the past. There might be some reason that is stopping them from implementing that. Snowballs mentions that it would need moderators. Yeah, any chat you have would have to have moderators to keep the spammers out and the ne'er-do-wells, as it were. Gathering says, I haven't seen a single bad reward card yet. Either have I. Snowball says, I was hoping for some new titles. I'm wondering why the video is still showing me on the wheel page. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties here. Um, Paul Taylor asks, how many batches are you getting on Tuesday? There must be a really big delay in the live stream. Sorry, just mental. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I've already went in on Halloween. I've already went in on the chests and stuff, so we'll have to see. I don't like going too deep because then it just starts getting really expensive. Steve R's in the house. Welcome, Steve. DeFiz says, I had 10 black foil pickles recently, arcane pickles recently. Sold one to Blaze. Nice. That's big time. I'm going to do a refresh of my page. Okay, that's better. I'm sorry. Yeah, it kept showing me it was a static image of the wheel page, and I'm like, yeah, I'm way ahead of that. OFG says, I don't normally trust dragons, but bronze dragon I definitely trust. Well, as long as they're metallic, gold, silver, bronze, they're the good guys, so to speak. And Snowballs, yes, quality of life is the term I was searching for. Snowball says, I'd trust that beard anywhere. And Banana sold all of their land. Gathering says, maxed out partially leveled gold foil epics. Sent 3 of them to a plains I have in a different region to crank out grain. OFG says, I'd been trying to grab more gold foil epics. They're at a great price right now. Max 2 so far, I believe. Snowball says, I don't really want to burn any cards. You know what? I'm right there with you. I don't want to burn any cards, but the land cards, I really want the land cards. So I'm going to have to like do some computations on how much it's going to actually cost me for each land card. I just hope that they don't take all this work he's doing and make it so expensive that most people can't even get them, right? I don't have, and like you said, I haven't seen any the details on Cinder yet. So obviously they're probably still being made up. Gathering says, told Matt on the town hall we need a hardcore survival Chaos Legion mode. All cards that die get burnt for Cinder. A winner gets glint and maybe a chance at random goodies. I definitely would not do that. I'm not going to burn my cards for Cinder. In random goodies, you know, roll the dice. I'm not burning my cards for that. Interesting idea, but I'm not doing it. He goes on to say land cards won't need to be unlocked with research. That was my worry. Yeah, I mean, if it costs that much to make the land cards to start with, they shouldn't be locked. That's my opinion. If you're paying this big upfront price to make the card, it should not be locked. Locked things are for earning through, you know, just playing in the game, right? So OFG says, oh, Bronze Dragon, congrats on the max regular foil pickle you won. Yeah, they did a giveaway. Blaze did a giveaway this past week on X. So they do a lot of communications on X. So if you're not on X, you should subscribe, really, because they do a lot of things on X. And I won actually a maximum standard foil, regular foil pickle this week. So if you're not if you don't follow them over there, you should check them out, because Blaze and Dehota and several of the other guys do a lot of different posting on there on a daily basis. So trying to get the word out, etc. You know, kind of like free advertising. You know, it does take our time, but it helps the game out overall. Hopefully. Beaker says, hope the team comes quickly with the cost of land card to prepare and balance everything out with a mini set. Yeah. I've been less than happy with how the news on land has come out, because it's been like they don't care. I mean, it's, you know, my opinion is, you know, I've got less than 50 plots of land, so I'm not a land baron. But like I said earlier, I've still got a couple $1,000s wrapped up in it. That still makes me hardcore into land, right? And yet I don't get any land news except for secondhand, right? It just kind of, it's like a thorn underneath my fingernail or something, right? Okay, let's jump into, I want to get my pack. So I found that on the market, they've been cheaper than just buying them off the store. So let's go in here. $8 for a Conclave Arcana alchemy pack. So let's buy one. And I got it from Marcus Journey. Thank you for a good deal. Beats paying $12. But you could use 12,000 DEC. So I didn't want to do the math. It's probably kind of about the same. Okay, let's go ahead and open. Cross your fingers for me. Let's do this opening. Do I have enough? Yeah, I have enough potions. Okay, let's open them up. See if, hopefully, last couple weeks I haven't really got anything great. So let's hope. Okay. We got a rare gold foil. Okay. Oh, and an epic standard foil, molten elemental. So not a bad pull whatsoever. Now, with that said, let's go over to conflicts and see if this will help me out. Also, keep in mind the new conflict is coming up. About 2 days left. And we did also in that video I put out this week, talked about the new conflict card that is coming up. Shout out to Loving the Move from my guild, who originally won the right to be one of the, you know, help create one of the archons. I'm trying to pull that information up so we can look at it. It is under official announcements. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is the new one. This is going to be the new drop for conflicts. So looks interesting. It's water. But I think that the key thing here is that he's going to give poison to everybody, which I love poison cards. But this is going to be the first dual race. Okay. So he has Bloodline Dominion for Canisans, which are like dogs, wolves, and elementals. So any of those you put in, he can call those from across your splinters or your elements, and gives them all poison. Plus has tactics, and you can give magic, reflect, or blast to 2 units. So that's also worth noting. But back here, let's go ahead and, so I'm at 156,275. Let's see if we can up that with the cards I had without doing any combines. Oh, a little bit. Up to 158,000. So a little bit helps out. Still only guaranteed one. Steve R says, anyone know where the link is to see any skins left? I do not. That's one thing I wish, that I wish we could see the skins in our item inventory somehow, because I have skins that I don't have cards for, so there's no way to. I do know that they also put out a article on I can't pull it up right now, but they put out an article on how to trade your skins, because it's not exactly straightforward at this point. Gathering says, looking for more plots in region 43, especially at Plains, if anyone knows someone who wants to trade any. Buy, sell, trade. Gathering says, don't overlook neutral gold foil cards. Yeah, I'm overlooking them. I mean, I'm purposefully overlooking them. I'm sticking with cards that actually give my 10% bonus. I understand, we've talked about this before. You can go with neutrals and they are easier to switch around, I agree, but you give up that 10%. And frankly, I think that over a long time means more to me than actually being able to switch them from land to land. Trying to catch up with chat here. Lady Sharon says, hey, I just had something weird happen. I went up to bronze once and I tried to claim my prizes after it ran for a bit. It said the transaction went through, but it wouldn't let me view the rewards. Yeah, there's been a fair amount of problems with the Hive blockchain lately. And also, take note, if you, like, I sent some SPS over and exchange it for DEC earlier, but over this past week, Hive Engine has been under attack. And even just last night when I was on stream, it was down. So the connection was down. So I would not be surprised if there were, if different, anything requiring a Hive Engine or a Hive blockchain transaction was affected. So Lady Sharon says, it was stuck on the claim reward screen. It wouldn't let me go further, but when I claimed again, of course, it said I already claimed. I have no idea that I got. Well, they might have said this in chat already, but anything doing to do with a currency, you can come up here into your little gear icon, go into currency activity, and depending upon what it is, you can look it up. Vouchers, like earlier, I bought that one voucher promo card I was telling you about, and it showed me exactly what it was here. And this transaction over here, if you ever interact with support and they ask you for a transaction code, this is what they're asking for. Because the whole idea of interacting with the blockchain is that blockchain keeps track of every single transaction that happens. So there's a way to track it down. Sometimes you can track it down. Sometimes things sometimes they can save things, you know, as far as, you know, SPS, DEC cards, whatever. Sometimes they're lost in the ether. So. Lady Sharon says, I know there's a history for other things. Is there a history for rewards? It would be under currency act. Oh, rewards as far as cards. You can replay. You can replay the rewards. Yeah, what Beaker said. Gathering says there's a history for rewards. If we go to season history, leagues, I'm trying to find this the rewards history. I know I'm just overlooking it. Lady Sharon says, okay, I see where to replay battles. I'm not seeing where to go find the rewards. Snowball says, modern, will season history, modern wild. Gathering the Magic says land cards that are crafted on land will probably be random, whether you get a common, rare, epic, etc. I doubt you'll be able to pick the one you want. Well, yeah, but then you can take it and sell it. And then buy the one you want, right? Or trade it with somebody for the one you want. And that would lead to the most popular ones being more expensive, which is the way the card game goes, right? Lady Sharon says, modern going up to bronze 1. I want a tablet, by the way. This is in the app. I was kind of hoping Bronze Dragon would show, but I think he's behind if you know where to put a picture up. Yeah, I run behind because I try to get to what everybody's saying, and I just don't have time to talk about something and keep up with everything. Snowball says, go to modern. Well, I don't play modern, so I'll do wild. Okay, so she said she finally found it. Click the season tab, season activity. Scroll down, and under each of the season click history, click league and list of previous results. Okay. Joffrey says top of the Glint store has a history button as well. Lady Sharon says, back to the land cards. I hope that they're sellable, because if I can't make one, I might want to buy one. They need to be sellable. They need to be unlocked. What I've heard is they're going to cost a decent amount to make each one, because what we've heard is that you need Cinder, which is going to require burning cards, which is a big cost, right? Depending upon how much Cinder you need to and how many cards you need to burn. So putting all this money into the game, well, not necessarily into the game. It doesn't go to Splinterlands. It would go to people you're buying cards off to burn, or theoretically burn extra you have. This is a big incurred cost, and it can't. A big incurred cost can't end up with a locked card. In other words, you've got to have something you're going to be able to turn around and sell, right? So obviously there's balancing mechanisms, a lot of things they'll have to look at there to, and is it going to cost other things other than Cinder? Like, is it going to cost Aura as well? You know, so everything they add on makes the card cost more. And if you're putting this much money into it, it can't be locked. And then Beaker says, season tab on the bottom left, new part of the screen. Okay. Well, we'll end it there. Thanks for everybody for stopping by. I hope everybody has a great week in Splinterlands. Everything's going pretty cool. This coming week, we have the new set, new reward set coming out. So make sure that you're set and you have the old set in the condition you want it in. Otherwise, going forward, whenever the new set comes out, remember that the old set will be at 10 times to unlock. So that will be the cheapest it will be to unlock the cards. So if you want to unlock cards and trade them or sell them on the market, that's going to be the time to do it, because going forward, they're just going to get increasingly expensive over 6 months to unlock. And then finally at 6 months, you will not be able to unlock them anymore. Otherwise, hope you have a great Saturday, and I will see you in Splinterlands.